Kamara kid that played at Tennessee and went to the New Orleans Saints. I mean, Brashard can do that kind of stuff because Brashard can play in the backfield. I mean, we've just been blessed to have, some decent running backs, and Brashard's so elusive. It's just good to get him the ball now. And then he's also just tremendous body control in the air and great hands, that not all running backs have. So, Brashard is, you look at him and people always want to classify a position. He's just an offensive weapon. I mean, they need to just create that tag for him because, you could put him in there and he can run outside zone. He can run speed option. And then you put him in the slot. He can run jet sweeps, but then he's just out in the open field. I mean, it's tough to contain him.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, switching gears a little bit. We see it all the time. I think all fan bases are a little bit guilty of it. When a high school player that their favorite team is recruiting, he chooses a different school, it can kind of get ugly. Unfortunately, I saw some of that coming from the Miami Hurricanes fan base, geared towards some of your guys, Jason Marshall and Corey Collier. I hate to see that, but I would love to hear your take as, their coach in high school, as someone who knows them personally, and I'm sure you probably feel some like stewardship over these young men. Would you give us that take? Because I would really love to see that stop, especially from Miami fans. And so hopefully I would like to use our platform to discourage that kind of behavior.
Yeah, I think sometimes the fans forget these are kids. These are human beings that have feelings and care. And the great part about the kids we have, man, they're really good kids. These aren't kids that are going to be getting in trouble and things like that. And I'm really close with my guys, and they call me all the time, and they say, Coach, look at this. Coach, look at that. Look, why is this? Why is that? And I just tell them, guys, look, man, you cannot pay attention to social media. But what you do need to understand is you see the influence that you could have, and you need to learn how to use that influence in a positive way because people are glued to what you're saying and what you're doing. But it's tough. It's tough as a coach because you care. You've raised these kids, since they were young, and you just, you love them so much. I mean, I'm to the point where, I'm so upset we're not already out there practicing just because I want to be around those kids, But yeah. The fans definitely, I think, and here's the deal: not all the kids are going to go to Miami. Not all the kids are going to go to Florida State. And it's my job as a high school head coach to give these kids opportunities. It's not my job to tell them where to go to school. Obviously, I'm going to try to help them navigate the water. But at the end of the day, the parents and the kid, they've got to make a decision based on them. And a lot of times the misinformation, and you guys know this all the time, the misinformation that's out there by some of these recruiting services really paint number one kids picture of like, oh my God, this school has 9 safeties. I'm not going to go there. Or, oh, this team's doing this, or these fans are saying, you know what I mean? And it puts in these thoughts in kids' heads because they're kids. They don't know. I mean, to be able to process all that information and still make that decision, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 26, and when I think about my life, it's like I still don't know what I'm doing, So if I try to remember what it was like as an 18-year-old and making the life-changing choices that some of your players are making right now, like that would be tough, man. And I really just, again, hope that this stuff discourages fans everywhere from just giving high school kids too hard of a time about these decisions they're making. I mean, because we don't know what's going on in their personal life. We don't know their family composition. We don't know anything. All we care about is which logo they're going to have on their helmet. And it's hard not to be emotionally involved because we love our team, but, at the end of the day, when we're upset, don't point it towards a kid, point it elsewhere. Right. I mean, do you disagree with me or?
No, I 100% agree with you. And, I talk to my coaches because my coaches have a big influence on all these kids as well. And, then a lot of the schools, they'll talk to my coaches too. And it's just a matter of, hey, listen, man, whatever the kid's best interest is what's going to happen first. And everybody else just needs to relax, and just, stop taking this. It has become such a business, and there is such a huge passionate fan, and we love it. I mean, college football is amazing, and I love the fact that there is this business and that these opportunity for these kids. But at the same time, they're kids, and they're going to make dumb decisions, and they're going to do things that they shouldn't do. And they need somebody there to help them, not to sit there and bash them for what school they picked.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have two questions. The first one is it just popped in my mind, and I wanted to ask it before it left. It's going back to Burchard. So the offense that you guys run at Palmetto, how similar is that to Rhett Lashley's up-tempo spread offense that he's bringing to Miami?
Yeah, high school, it's hard to go up-tempo, just because, when you go up-tempo, you have to practice up-tempo. And high school is just really, really difficult. But we do try, everything we try to do is tempo. But a lot of the run concepts and a lot of the quick passing game concepts that Lashley has, we use. That's why I think Burchard's going to be an easy fit. The terminology is obviously going to be different. It's something he's going to have to learn. But the concepts that Lashley's offense bring, we have a lot of that within our offense at Palmetto.
That's awesome. And so my second question is, so obviously 2019 was a hard year for the Canes, 6-7 and losing 3 straight to end the year. But even after a 6-7 season, what do you think is drawing some of these recruits to stay home and play for the Hurricanes?
Well, the University of Miami is a huge brand, you know what I mean? And just living down here and being a part of it, kids are drawn to that. And kids want to see Miami do well. I was on an interview yesterday, and I was just like, football is so much better when Florida State, and Miami are all great and going after each other. So Miami's not going to go anywhere. I think, just the transition of coach to coach, and not winning and things like that. But what Manny's done by the consistency of the great defenses he's had every year and bringing in this offensive staff who is, just been tremendous. Number one, they've helped, they've done Zoom sessions with my coaches to talk about their new offense and what they're doing. They've done a great job, recruiting the kids. The buzz is there. They just got guys that have a lot of energy and a lot of passion for football, and kids are drawn to that. Kids want to be around guys that are going to, supply that juice every day.
Yeah. And obviously, Miami brings in Rhett Lashley, Rob Likens, Garen Justice, these 3 new offensive coaches. How do you think that they're fitting in to the South Florida kids? And, what do you think of their styles and their approaches from someone in your position with, your players being recruited?
They have made it a definite point, the offensive coaches, that they want to get Dade County kids. They've definitely made that a point that they're and even it's Manny's thing, obviously, but defense, Manny's been killing it with recruits, the whole time he's been there, getting in the guys. And that was another thing I want to say. They are unfairly bashing Rumpf over Marshall and these guys. I mean, that's crazy talk.
Preach, brother, preach.
That's just, I can't even believe that's even. Rumpf's one of the best guys in this business, you know what I mean? And so I don't know. I mean, but anyway, going back, yeah, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was pissed off because Rumpf is a great dude.
Yeah. No, that's definitely been a hot topic with Miami fans. But my point of view is that, look at the past defenses that Miami has had since Rumpf has got there. It's always top 20, top 10. In 2018, we had the number 1 pass defense in the country. And so he's doing a good job coaching these guys up. So, I mean, that's my point of view, at least.
Yeah. So I have sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just, it boggles my mind. People that don't know, like if you've been under the practice field and you've watched the way that Rumpf interacts with his players and you watch the way he coaches, there wouldn't be a doubt in your mind that he's one of the best defensive back coaches in college football.
Well, so I have a question regarding a guy like Rob Likens. So when he comes into the program and he has the pedigree of putting a wide receiver in the first round of the NFL draft for 2 years in a row, is that the type of thing that really jumps out at recruits, or how do these young kids process info like that? Is that a big sticking point?
What's funny is I would say years ago it probably was. It's just funny, these kids don't follow football like they used to. Like a lot of kids, they're playing video games and they're doing that, and they're not. Some of these kids, believe it or not, may not even know who Warren Sapp or Ed Reed are. But I think it's the relationship these coaches are building with the kids. Okay. Because kids are drawn to that. Kids want to have a relationship. They want to be disciplined. They want structure. I think it's more so that than anything. Likens did a good job of recruiting Palmetto when he was at Arizona State. I mean, those guys were recruiting our kids at Arizona State. So it was an easy transition over to Miami.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so my last question for you is, as a whole, with the coronavirus situation, and I haven't done much research on this. I know that the high school association or whatever they have here is meeting a lot and talking a lot. What is your team's season looking like this fall?
Well, we haven't worked out since March. We've been completely shut down. We haven't allowed to have any type of workouts with our kids whatsoever. The FHSA said today that, football can start on the 24th of this month, but the problem is Dade County is not going to let us do that. So we're kind of in a situation where we're just waiting, and it's been such a slow drip of information from our conference and our county that I'm not really sure. I mean, my kids, I was posting workouts for a while, then a lot of the kids were going and doing their own thing, which was good. And, basically now it's just a wait and see. So, everything's ready, man. I mean, we've got everything ready. So when that green light hits, man, we can get out there and get running. But, there's some options out there. There's some options of us trying to get, as soon as the numbers and the percent positive cases go down a little bit, there's some options of where we can get in and get into the state series. There's an option where we're not even with the FHSA and we just kind of do our own thing. Because if you've been down here any amount of time, if you win out of Dade and Broward and Palm Beach, you're pretty much a state champ. We won 7 of 8 last year just in South Florida. So I just need the kids to have a season, because we have, like I said, we have 7 kids committed to D1, but I've got 7 or 8 other kids that could be Division I players. They're just waiting to be seen. They need the exposure.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Coach. We certainly appreciate you. We're excited to have some of your guys come in and send our best to Corey Collier and Jason Marshall. It bothers me that that they might have gotten some bad feedback from the Hurricanes fan base. So no hard feelings coming from the guys here at the Fours Up podcast. We want what's best for them. We know that they'll kill it wherever they go. So
yeah, and Coach, we appreciate I appreciate the support you've given us on social media. Really enjoyed talking to you. So thank you again so much for coming on.
Yeah, no, definitely. And listen, Miami's still going to recruit the hell out of Corey Collier and Jason Marshall. This thing's not over. I tell people all the time, it's great to be committed, but nothing really sticks until that ink is on that paper. So, But yeah, guys, I really appreciate the job you're doing. Anytime you guys can promote our game that we love in a positive manner, I'm all in.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, give your players our best, and hope you and your family are staying safe during this crazy time.
Will do, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, Thanks. Coach. Talk to you later.
Bye. Wonderful, man. 2 great interviews right in a row. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we had. I mean, John always does a great job, but Coach Manasco, that was a very, very good interview.
For sure, dude. I love talking to John. He is the ultimate Miami Hurricane. Okay, we're back. We had minor tech difficulties. My Wi-Fi died and dropped Marsh from the call. But I was saying, like John Michaels is just the ultimate hype man. And I don't know if you heard this or not, Marsh, but I was saying I think you have that quality as well, man. I love talking with the both of you because nothing gets me more excited for Hurricane football. And John's just so incredible to have on the podcast for that reason.
Yeah, no, I've always felt that John was like he's in the same industry I'm trying to go into, and I feel like we're very similar. That we both try to carry a sense of professionalism, but we still got that fan in us. So always love talking to John. But yeah, that Coach Manasco interview was just that was awesome. I'd love to talk to him more, and just the way that, and I loved your question and your statement about that the social media stuff, because it obviously seems that that bugs him, and how couldn't it bug a head coach like that and even the Florida fans when Leonard Taylor committed to Miami. It's just immaturity on social media. I mean, grown ass men
for sure
talking down on these kids who are going a lot, and he said it perfectly, and I always say it on this podcast, is that people forget that these are 17-year-olds, and they're human beings, they have feelings and everything like that. And I